Hey traders and investors, it's Serge Berger here. What we're going to talk about today is how to take trading profits. So many people have a very well thought out system to get into a trade, but then really end up failing, and a lot of times failing quite miserably in taking profits. Taking profits very much is all about having the profit target already planned out before you get into the trade. And I talk about this all the time when it comes to trading with my subscribers and my clients. Because if you don't have a plan, it's very easy to start breaking rules and doing things that would be otherwise extremely uncharacteristic to you as a trader and even uncharacteristic to your personality. So we need to have a plan to not only where do we stop ourselves out of a trade, which I will cover in a video in the coming days, but really how to take profits, or at least how to take partial profits. I'm going to give you a couple examples here in two stocks that are well known with trades that I just did very recently. The first example here is in Chipotle Mexican Grill. It's ticker symbol CMG. And if you look at the stock, it technically had a very tight trading pattern here just a couple of weeks ago. And then last week finally broke out of this tight trading pattern to the upside. Okay, so my personal trading plan most of the time calls for taking profits in 5% increments. Now, you have to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt because it obviously depends on the volatility of a stock. A 5% profit in a much more volatile stock, like for example, some of the fuel cell companies that we've been seeing flipping around the past few days, is essentially nothing, right? But for the most part, the sort of big stocks that trade fairly well, like Chipotle Mexican Grill, you can very well go with a 5 or say 4 to 6% initial profit target. So when the stock, I got into this trade, I think on the 27th of February. When he finally broke out on the 4th of March, it very quickly achieved that 5% profit target. So I got to that 5% profit target, I think at some point on the 6th of March, and at that point I took off a little bit more than half. I think it was 3/4 of the trade, for the very simple fact that A, the stock had broken out, it's done what it wanted to do, okay, or at least it's satisfied, a good amount of what I expected a stock to do. So I need to reward myself. I'll say it again. I need to reward myself uh, by not only taking risk off today, but also taking some profits, essentially leaving myself with a free trade. I then either attach a trailing stop or then go for another, say, 3 to 4 to 5% of the upside, depending on the volatility of the stock. In this case, Chipotle Mexico very quickly ran out of steam. We saw that coming, so we actually ended up stopping the rest of the trade out the very next day for a very good risk reward. The same thing goes with Tesla. Now, this is a bit of a more volatile stock, but here too, it applies very well if you take profits in 5% increments. So, for example, when the stock started breaking out here on the 14th of January, I think I communicated this very well, not only to clients but also to followers in general. I then got into a trade at the end of that day, and literally within, I think, even the next day or the day after, we got to a 5% profit target. Now, again, Tesla, you could have expanded that profit target, but what I was betting on is that the stock was for the stock to continue going in the direction that it broke to. So a 5% profit target most of the time is a good way of rewarding yourself for being correct. So at the very least, take partial profits, take a third profits, maybe half profits, maybe 3/4 profits. Leave the rest on if you want to. Go for another 3, 4, 5%, or just trail your stop until you actually get stopped out. I hope this makes sense. As always, any questions, you can tweet me at my Twitter handle, which is SteadyTrader. Take care.